We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. English can be a tricky language, and mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. However, it is important to recognize and correct them in order to improve your communication skills. In this lesson, we will go over some of the most common mistakes that English learners make and give you tips and tricks on how to avoid them in the future. I am Benjamin from English Classes Online. Let's begin with the first one, subject and verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement means that the verb in a sentence must agree with the subject in number, that is singular or plural. For example, it is incorrect to say they enjoys home videos. The correct thing is they enjoy home videos, okay? Another example, Mommy and Junior is going to the market. All right? It is incorrect because Mommy and Junior constitutes a plural subject and cannot go with a singular verb. In the first sentence, they is a plural subject and cannot go with the singular verb enjoys. The correct thing is Mommy and Junior are going to the market. Number two, wrong use of tenses. That's another area in which most or some English learners or users commit mistakes frequently. For example, it is incorrect to say, I visited grandma yesterday. The word visit is a verb in the present, simple present tense, but we are referring to a past event. So you must use a past tense to talk about past actions. Correct thing is, I visited grandma yesterday. Another one, I will go to the filling station and bought fuel. This is the future action. I will go to the filling station. And you cannot use the past tense to talk about a future action. The correct thing is to say, I will go to the filling station and buy fuel. There's a kind of mix-up here. This is the correct one. And then this is the incorrect one. Okay. So let's continue. Number three, we have omission of the possessive apostrophe and s, and this has to do with indicating ownership. For example, it is incorrect to say my uncle car is red. When you say my uncle car is red, you have omitted the possessive apostrophe and s. So the correct thing is my uncle's car is red. Number four, mixing up the subjective and objective forms. Many English learners use subjective pronouns in the object position and use the objective pronouns in the subject position. This is a common mistake that should be avoided. For example, Dad gave my sister and I some money. So you see, that is incorrect, because if you remove my sister and I, for example, if you remove my sister and then you are left with I, it becomes obvious. You cannot say that gave I some money. What should be here is me. That gave me some money. Sometimes English learners get confused when there is another grammatical structure coming before what should be the objective pronoun. And so some people use the subjective instead of the objective. So the correct thing is to say, Dad gave my sister and me some money. Another example, Obi and myself are members of that committee. Myself cannot be used in the subject position. This is the subject position, the doer of an action in a sentence. So the correct thing is to say, Obi and I are members of the committee. That brings us to number 5, using double negatives. For example, she doesn't know nobody in the town. Doesn't is negative, nobody is negative. That makes it incorrect. The correct thing is to say she doesn't know anybody in this town. Another example, I don't want no drink. Don't is negative, no is negative. That makes it double negative and it is incorrect. The correct thing is to say, I don't want any drink. That brings us to number 6, lack of tense harmony. Even though we talked about wrong use of tenses, when we talk of tense harmony, we are looking at a complex sentence where you have two clauses. And so you are moving from one clause to the next clause, and there should be consistent. We call it sequence of tenses or tense harmony. If you browse through the channel, you will find videos I uploaded giving detailed explanation about the rules that govern sequence of tenses. So this mistake occurs when you start saying or writing something in the past tense in the first clause, then slip into the present tense in another clause, for example. To avoid this mistake, you need to make sure that you use one tense consistently. If you are using the past tense to refer to the past events, you should do that consistently. For example, we arrived the city late in the night and decide to pass the night in a hotel. You begin with the past tense, arrived, and then you change to a present tense, decide. That makes it incorrect. There is no tense harmony in that sentence. The correct thing is to say, we arrived the city late in the night, so we decided to pass the night in a hotel. We arrived, we decided. Past tense, past tense. Number 7, misuse of homophones or words with similar sounds. For example, when you use their, their, there is no one in the house. This is wrong because this, even though it sounds similar to ter, this refers to ownership. So the correct thing is there. There is no one in the house. So some people mix these things up and it is wrong. Let's look at other homophones, words that sound alike but have different meanings. You have sight with C. You have sight with S, but S-I-G-H-T. Then you have another sight, S-I-T-E. The first sight with C refers to quote. You cite somebody, you cite what somebody said. The second sight refers to vision. The third one refers to location, such as a project site. Then you have descent with C, you have descent with SC, you have descent with double S. The first one refers to satisfactory. Then the second one refers to lineage or family background. The third one refers to position. So they have different meanings. Then you have loose and loose. Loose with double O is an adjective. When something is not tight, you say it is loose. The one with a single O refers is a verb and refers to misplaced. such as when you lose your money or you lose your purse. We have plain versus plain. Plain with AI refers to simple, the plain truth. Then plain with A refers to a plain. Then we have peace and peace. The one with EA refers to harmony. The one with IE refers to part, like such as a piece of cloth. We have complement versus complement. The one with LI refers to praise, all right? The one with LE refers to supplement or something that completes another. Number 8 is the wrong use of the subjunctive mood. I have a video on the subjunctive mood, so you can browse through the channel. You can use the playlist on English grammar lessons and then look for the subjunctive mood and watch the video. You will understand what is meant by subjunctive mood. And then I have another video on the 5 types of moods in English. Now, one example of wrong use of the subjunctive mood is, if I am you, I will report the matter to the police. The correct thing is, if I were you, I will report the matter to the police. Another example, I wish I have enough money to buy a new car. The correct thing is the use of the past tense after wish. I wish I had enough money to buy a new car. Number 9, using run-on sentences. A run-on sentence occurs when 2 or more main clauses that can form complete sentences are joined together as a sentence without proper punctuation. For example, Raina is a good girl, she obeys her parents. You see, these are 2 complete ideas and there's no punctuation to separate the 2. The correct thing is you can use semicolon. Raina is a good girl. She obeys her parents. Semicolon here indicates a pause that is not as long as full stop, but at least it indicates 2 grammatical structures of equal rank. This can stand as a simple sentence. This can also stand as a simple sentence, but then we join them together into a compound sentence using a semicolon. You may use a conjunction. You can say Raina is a good girl, so she obeys her parents. You see? Another example, the thief tried to escape. The shop owner saw him. You see? The first idea, or what could even be a simple sentence, is the thief tried to escape. Another one is the shop owner saw him. So when you join 2 structures like that without any punctuation, that is a run-on sentence. There are different ways to correct run-on sentences, but I just give you some example. Now, this is the correct one. This is a typo here. So the correct one is, the thief tried to escape, but the shop owner saw him. You see, we use the conjunction but. Again, you may decide to use the semicolon. The thief tried to escape, semicolon. The shop owner saw him. Whichever one you choose is good. So let's move on to number 10. Wrong use of capital or small letters. For example, John wasn't at the seminar, and John is written with small letter J here. There are 2 reasons, 2 grammatical reasons why John should begin with a capital letter J here. Number 1, John is the beginning of the sentence here, and whenever you write a sentence, the first word should begin with a capital letter. Number 2, John is a proper noun, and every proper noun must must begin with a capital letter. So the correct thing is capital letter J. John wasn't at the seminar. Number 11, using adjectives in place of nouns. Okay, using adjectives in place of nouns. Okay, for example, I can't see the difference between the two. So you can see different is an adjective, but you are using it like a noun here. So I can't see the different. You can talk of a different thing, but not, using it as a noun. So the correct thing is I can't see the difference between the two. Difference is a noun, different is an adjective. Number 12. Number 12 is wrong use of compound adjectives. For example, she registered for a 2 years course. This is wrong because we are talking of a 2 years course. The compound adjective is 2 years. 2 years, should together form a compound adjective describing the type of course that she registered for. So the correct thing is she registered for a 2-year course. So there is a hyphen and then there is no S in years. It's a 2-year course. Another example is a 3-man committee, not a 3-man committee. So you can watch any of my videos on the rules for using compound adjectives. You will learn more about the various rules governing the use of compound adjectives. Number 13, misuse of uncountable nouns. For example, do you have a free time? Here, time is uncountable, and so you cannot use an indefinite article like when you are talking of a countable noun. So the correct thing is to say, do you have some free time, or do you have free time, Well, you don't have to singularize it because it's uncountable. Another example is, I have an advice for you. More and more people are committing this error when they say, I have an advice for you, or this is just an advice, That is wrong because advice is uncountable. So the correct thing is, I have a piece of advice for you, or I have some advice for you, or I have advice for you. Okay? This brings us to number 14, wrong word order in questions. For example, what we are going to do now, you see, normally in a question, the auxiliary verb should come before the subject. And the correct thing is, what are we going to do now? All right? But you hear some people always placing the subject before the auxiliary when asking a question, what we are going to do now. That is a wrong way of asking a question. The correct thing is, what are we going to do now? Number 15, using double comparatives or superlatives. Okay, for example, my bag is more better than yours. More is comparative, better is also comparative. So you can't put the two together. The correct thing is, my bag is better than yours. Some other mistakes people make, they use expression like, she is the most prettiest girl in her class, or his own case is worse than your own. These are all wrong usages. Okay? Number 16, unnecessary and wrongly placed apostrophe in possessives. The other one, we saw omission, complete omission. But here you are using possessive apostrophe, but you are using it unnecessarily where it is not necessary at all. For example, it is incorrect to say the book is hers and then you put apostrophe before s. The correct thing is the book is hers. You know, there's no apostrophe. And other examples, other mistakes, people put s in yours. I mean, they put apostrophe in yours, in ours, in theirs, in even in some plural irregular nouns such as children. Children is already the plural of child. So you cannot put s in children and then put apostrophe after it. So take note of such mistakes. Number 17, misplaced modifiers. A modifier is a word that describes another. So it's incorrect, for example, to say, at 10, my aunt brought me to Lagos. Now, this is confusing because are you now saying that your aunt was 10 when she brought you to Lagos? But you know, at 10 refers to me here. So the correct thing is to say, when I was 10, my aunt brought me to Lagos. Another example, sleeping on the veranda, a rat bit me, a rat bit one of my toes. Now the question is, was it the rat that was sleeping on the veranda? No, this sleeping on the veranda refers to the speaker. So the best way to put it is to say, while I was sleeping on the floor or veranda, if you like, a rat bit one of my toes. Number 18, sentence fragments. A sentence should be complete because a sentence is defined as a group of words that contains a subject and a verb and makes a complete thought. Okay. Now, for example, John didn't attend the party, full stop, because he had a fever. Because he had a fever is a fragment, so it can't stand as a sentence. The correct thing is you can put the two together. John didn't attend the party because he had a fever. Number 19, ambiguous antecedent. Okay, ambiguous antecedent. An antecedent is um, what came before. When we have a pronoun, for example, it is referring to a noun. And then we have, so let's look at an example. Grandma found the girl and she was very happy. The question is, who was very happy? Was it the girl that was very happy or was it grandma that found the girl? So the correct thing is to place the antecedent very close to the noun it refers to. For example, grandma was very happy when she found the girl. Not necessarily very close to it, but yeah, of course, because we know now that she refers to grandma here. All right. Grandma was very happy when she found the girl. That makes it very clear. You remove the ambiguity. Then the last but not the least mistake is split infinitives. Although a lot of scholars now argue that we don't have to bother ourselves with split infinitives anymore. However, it is important you know that this has been part of English grammar, that most grammarians have always frowned at split infinitives. For example, it is incorrect according to grammarians to say, I tried to quickly rush to the bank before they arrive. Quickly rush, you know. Now, it's split because I tried to do what? So this quickly here is splitting this particular, is splitting this structure. I tried to rush to the bank. You see, so this adverb is splitting this. The infinitive here is to rush. To rush is the infinitive. to rush. The infinitive always begins with the preposition to. So you have to rush, to read, to sleep, to jump. So when you begin with to and then you bring something in between them, it is grammatically wrong according to grammarians. I try to quickly rush to the bank. So now let's look at what should be the correct thing. The correct thing is to say, I wanted to rush quickly to the bank before they arrive. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. Um, well, there's one more thing that I tried to rush to the bank before they arrived. That is an omission. So take note of that. And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, like the video and share it with your friends and relations. If you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, kindly leave them in the comment section below. See you in the next class, and goodbye. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you